What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Saturday morning episode of the Daily Juice podcast with me, Matt Perrault at Sports Talk Matt. To follow me across all socials, and this podcast is officially ice cold. Look, these are the tough times, right? When you're on vacation, trying to get things done, and you're just like, man, I can't hit a bet to save my life. So we are officially in fade territory for me. So if you're officially fading these bets, I'm not going to be upset, angry, or mad at you at all because we're 0-1 on the night. The Pirates hit 7 home runs off the Mets. That's the first time the Pirates have hit 7 home runs at home in, I think forever. 7 home runs. Brian Reynolds hit a grand slam, another home run. I mean, that bullpen just fell apart for the Mets, and the Pirates went crazy. So it's just kind of like where I'm at the moment in terms of betting. It's not a good scene. So I'm going to continue to go light. This is what I do. When I'm ice cold, I tend to shrink and I tend to limit my losses and try to be as successful limiting my losses as I can until we pull out of the nosedive. But if you want to take these 2 bets and fade them, go right ahead. We still have the WNBA play to go here tonight at taping time. It's 0-1. We might go 1-1 and be lucky to go 1-1, or potentially it could be an 0-2 night, and it would be, I think I've lost 6 straight bets in baseball. I think that's right. So it's been a rough run in baseball, and this is what happens in July. I mean, I wish I could sit here and tell you that this doesn't happen in July, but it's happened so often where it's the dog days, and really from now until the All-Star break, baseball is an absolute crapshoot. It's really difficult. The arms are tired. The bullpens need time to recover, and it's just a brutal start or stretch here for Major League Baseball. So the WNBA has been okay, but I've been cold this week in the WNBA. So I got 1 bet in the W and 1 bet in baseball. There's no UFC today. There's not a boxing match I want to bet today. There's not a golf bet that I like today. It's a really tough weekend, and so we're going to go light here on the day with just 1 WNBA play and 1 bet in Major League Baseball to give you guys. But before we do that, let's remind you about the giveaway we got going on for the Julio Rodriguez signed jersey. If you want a chance to win this thing, it's a signed Julio Rodriguez jersey. You could win it for free thanks to our friends at pristineauction.com. All you need to do is head over to bettingpros.com/contest, complete out the form, and either download the Betting Pros app, leave a review for the Betting Pros podcast or this podcast, The Daily Juice, subscribe to our social media channels at Betting Pros on X and TikTok, or Betting Pros NFL on Instagram. The more actions you complete, the more entries you will receive. We'll be announcing a winner right here on the Daily Juice coming up later on this month. So make sure you tune in those notifications or turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when new episodes are up and claim your prize. It could be an autographed jersey from Julio Rodriguez during the month of July. To enter for free, go to bettingpros.com/contest. Okay, let's start in the WNBA. New York against Indiana. This is at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. A couple of things are going on here with the WNBA. People are betting it more. The content space is paying attention to it, and I believe, in my opinion, that the books are starting to juice these totals up. Now, not every book is doing that, but I think you can look at some of the books and go, these numbers are starting to climb. These numbers are starting to get a little bit in the upper echelons, the higher type of numbers, and you're like, wow, okay, this is a WNBA, and we're talking about numbers that are high, like 172 type highs. We're at 171.5 right now for New York and Indiana, and this number opened up at 169. It's been bet up to 171.5. Now, this is involving Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, so you know there's going to be big action on this game. Indiana is 7-11 straight up this season, but they're 10-8 ATS. They are 4-4 straight up at home, but 3-7 straight up on the road. New York is 7-2 on the road, but 9-1 at home. They are 8-11 ATS, and 11 of their and they're 11-8 to the over. The Indiana Fever are 14-4 to the over. The Indiana Fever are 7-3 to the over their last 10 games, and New York is 7-3 to the over their last 10 games. However, last 2 games have gone under for New York, and the last 3 games for Indiana have gone under. 179.5 against Vegas, under. 175 against Phoenix, under. 167 against Seattle, under. These are games they went 2-1 1-2 ATS wise after they went on a really nice run of 5 consecutive games in which they covered. I think at 171.5, I think this is too high. You cross over 170 in the WNBA and you start entering into situations where you're like, man, that's a lot. Now, the over is 8-2 over the last 10 games involving these two teams, including a game back in New York where it was 104-68. New York covered the 14.5 point number. The total was 170 and it went over. But the game just went over. New York scored 104 points at home. The Fever were really in a bad stretch back on the 2nd of June, where a month later, Indiana's playing better. New York is playing a bit more conservatively offensively, and the numbers are getting juiced up and jacked up here. This is, 171.5 is the highest since, dating back all the way to 2022. This is the highest total we've seen. Only a total on June 23rd of last year, which was 171. It went over because it was 101-83, but again, this is a different season. I think the numbers are too high here. Again, you want to fade this, go right ahead. I don't mind it, but I'm going to bet the under here. It's an under in an Indiana game. Dangerous. They're 14-4 to the over. But again, last 3 games have gone under, and I think the books are starting to jack up this even more. You make it 172. You make it 173. You want to wait and let this number run. Not going to hate that at all. Go as high as it can. You want to do it in-game and see how high you can get and bet the under. Don't hate that as well. But fourth quarters have been weird. Scoring has really slowed down in the fourth quarter. I'm going to bet the under, 171.5 for New York at Indiana here for 1.1 units. Okay, to the Major League Baseball ranks, where again, I can't be more cold than I am at the moment. Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phillies. Can he save us? 10-2 with a 2.27 ERA. Just 3 games all year the Phillies have lost with Ranger Suarez on the mound. 2 of the 3 on the road, however. Lost to Detroit on the road, lost to Colorado on the road, teams you wouldn't think that they would lose, the Phillies would lose to, but they're not playing, obviously. They're not playing with 2 of the best players in Schwarber and Bryce Harper, but this is a team that has played really well on the road for Ranger Suarez. 2.06 ERA, a 5-2 record, an opposing batting average of 196, 52 and 1/3 innings worth of work, just 12 earned runs given up so far on the road for Ranger Suarez. The Phillies are 57-30, okay? But look, against the Braves, and right now they lead them 8-6 here on the road. It's a chance to take another game against a team that obviously is the second best team in the division, and this game's on Fox. It's a nationally televised game. Spencer Swallenbach is going. Atlanta and the Phillies are going to be tied at 2 games apiece. This currently holds with a 8-6 lead here for the Phillies. They'll tie it up at 2 games apiece for the season, and then we run into a situation where you have a guy in Swallenbach who's not very experienced. He's 24 years old. At home, he's got a 4.5 ERA. He's 1-2 with a 2.10 opposing batting average, 8 earned runs in 16 innings worth of work. That's not great. He hasn't worked a ton this year, but he's lost 4 of his last 5 games. The team has lost 4 of his last 5. In fact, it's 5 of the last 6. The team's only won 1 game in which he started. That was a win on the 18th of June, a 2-1 win over the Tigers. 4 earned runs against the Pirates last time out, 4-2 loss. 4 earned runs against the Cardinals in a 4-3 loss. 2 earned runs against the Orioles in a 4-2 loss. And 6 earned runs against the Red Sox in a 9-0 loss. Now, most of those games were on the road. St. Louis, Baltimore, and Boston were on the road, but lost against Washington at home, lost against Pittsburgh at home, and then a win over Detroit 2-1. Again, I'm ice cold, so you want to go ahead and fade these plays, fade this bet. I'm not going to be angry with you at all if you say, "Oh, Matt, like you can't get a bet to save your life." I'm going with the Braves. I'm not going to hate on you at all if that's what you want to go ahead and do, but I just think we're going to take Ranger Suarez on the road, the better starting pitcher, and we get a really decent price. We get -110 on Ranger Suarez. I don't think you can really overlook that here with the Phillies on the road. Yes, it is Atlanta. Yes, they're going to win most likely tonight, but you get this cheap of a price on Ranger Suarez and the Phillies, I think you have to take it. 1.1 units down. Phillies money line up against the Braves here on a Saturday evening, Saturday night in Major League Baseball. Okay, let's see if we can pull this tailspin out and get a winning day here for us and try to get a 2-0 mark and kind of come back and hopefully kind of get ourselves righted as we head towards a different week. There's no way we're overcoming this. We're going to have a losing week, okay? Going to have a losing start, and we're going to have a big hole for the month of July to pull ourselves out of it. Long time to go. We had a winning June. Try to have a winning July. But like I've said before, we don't win every day. We don't win every week. We don't win every month. We were due to have a downturn. We've got a pretty good May and June. Downturn here, obviously, in July has not been great, but plenty of time to go. A lot of football and other fun stuff still to come through the year of 2024. For right now, not so great. Things are ice cold, but we're going under 171.5 for New York and Indiana, and Phillies money line at -110, both for 1.1 units. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt every single morning, even when we're on vacation. It's the Daily Juice.